What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be going over an article that Bankai had just recently released. It's going over some key aspects of Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, as well as the character roles, as well as some like key fighting mechanics that hasn't been specifically spoken about. So we're gonna dive right in. It's titled Know Your Fighters. All right, here we go. In this article, we will go over details about characters' fighting styles and unique appearance you can find in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. On top of that, we will have a look at special maneuvers that involve the game's roster, such as quick time events, sequences, switches, transformations, and fusions, which is really big because I wanted to know transformations wise. I wanted to know if the Super Series characters and the Z Series characters, if you got like base Goku or base Vegeta, if they could transform into all of their forms from within that series, because I think Super Saiyan God is its own selectable character. I'm not entirely sure. They then go on to divide everything up. We got the summary here. We have the first section, which is types of characters. The second section is unique look, and then the third section is special maneuvers. We're going to start this off with looking at the types of characters. You can enjoy different play styles in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero depending on the strength and fighting habits of the characters in the original series. Their style is affected by statistics, size, and character forms. Let's have a look at the different categories of the characters you can play in the game. So this is really big to me and important, and I'm proud that they did this because I appreciate the fact that they're trying to make the characters more realistic from within their story. You know what I mean? So having classes, that's really good. I think that's really good. So the first one we have here is strength. These characters base most of their gameplay around their heavy strike and powerful blast. Although they might be slower, their raw power will compensate as they deal high damage to their opponents. Some of these characters are so strength oriented that some may not even stagger from Ki Blast and smash attacks. Based on their statistics, these characters can have two types of specialization, melee and blast. The first one will enhance the damage dealt with rush combos and close combat, while the second implies that the character can rely on blast attacks and Ki Blast to inflict damage. So the characters in this type of category will be like Jiren here, Cooler, probably Frieza second and third form. You can expect Broly, the bigger, tankier type characters. They'll definitely be in the strength category. This is typically the category that I roam around in, so that'll be pretty fun to do. Following strength, we have speed. On the opposite end, some characters base their attack strategy on their swiftness, which they use for long-lasting assaults, which are hard to interrupt. Now, I'd imagine like a lot of people would mess around with the speed. I would even go so far as to say that the best players in competitive probably will be playing the speed characters, just because the long-lasting assaults, the longer combos, that's typically those type of characters typically are the ones that end up, being the flashiest or being the more played in like the pro level of competitiveness. Even if some of their strikes are lighter, your opponent will have trouble trying to catch you as you move quickly all over the map and deliver combos with stunning speed. That is why you're going to be super fast. You're going to be difficult to catch. That's going to be really annoying, but there you go. Escaping from rush combos of characters that rely on speed will be tougher for the opponent compared to characters not fitting in this categories. And then that's the fucking cherry on top right there. So your rush combos, you're going to be comboing out the ass, and it's going to be a pain in the ass to get over this if you're not like a giant character, I'd imagine. Then they have Ki Blast. There are some types of characters who are masters. I see Vegeta down here. There are some characters who are master of Ki Blast, excelling in fighting style that they can maintain control while keeping the opponent at a distance. They have the ability to fire multiple consecutive energy blasts while consuming the minimum energy. Vegeta is a good example, who is known for his powerful and rapid Ki Blast attacks. The other characters include Goku, who can unleash the iconic Kamehameha, and Frieza, who possesses the precise Death Beam. So, yeah, this is Z Vegeta. I'm not a fan of this type of gameplay, and I think everybody knows why. This is typically the type of people who use the same move over and over again. It's kind of a cop out to me. It's kind of corny. So I hope Super Vegeta from the Super series isn't mentioned in this category, because that's going to break my freaking heart. Because again, I think it's just a cop out. No one likes someone who uses the same move over and over again, and I can already fucking tell that shit's going to get annoying as hell. Next up, we have Giant. This category, like, originally I was like, okay, I'll try him out. That's kind of cool, playing a really big character. But then I started thinking about it, and like, they're probably going to be super slow, and I don't think that's going to be fun in this game at all. But here, let's see what they got to say. Given their impressive size, these characters are much slower than the others, but they strike more powerful blows that will stagger and send your opponent flying away. On top of that, they are numb to throw and some blast attacks. You can take advantage of their overwhelming presence on the map to hit your opponent with a wider hit range. Their impressive size and power come at the expense of sometimes having trouble hitting smaller opponents, which may evade their assault more easily. I didn't even consider this. I didn't even consider that. The only good thing about being a giant is that they're numb to throw and blast attacks. I'd say that is the only good thing about giant, but I just say that kind of takes away that's you'd be better off just learning how to evade throws. You know what I mean? Picking a giant just because you can't evade throws will not be a good option. Being able to hit your opponent with a wider range, that's kind of cool, but then they go on to say how if they're smaller, you might not be able to hit them as easy. So that's going to be interesting. I want to see who's going to try and main the giants. That'll be really impressive and interesting to see how they pull that off. For me, the nail in the coffin is this right here: the fact that they're going to be much slower than others. Again, those speed characters, I have an inkling that they're going to be like the top dogs. So being a giant against one of them is not going to be fun. Next up, we have the androids. Jesus Christ. Androids are artificial human that do not necessarily possess ki. In fact, they cannot charge their ki bar unless their energy reaches the maximum level. Their ki gauge will charge automatically over time or through melee attacks, and it will stop charging once it reaches its maximum. To incorporate this into your strategy, continuously strike with rush combos, giving your opponent no chance to charge his ki. Some androids even have the ability to absorb ki blast in certain blast attacks during super perception, which will charge their gauge much faster. These characters that automatically charge to the maximum are androids 13, 16, 17, and 18. On the other hand, androids 19 and Dr. Gero can charge more ki by landing melee attacks. Furthermore, they can also absorb the opponent's ki blast attacks and some types of ki wave blast. I love all of this. This is the this is great. I love this because this is what an android is. And it's nice to see that they're implementing what an android is perfectly to the characters. Yes, these dudes absorbed, you know, and I'm sure that was like that in the other games. I'm 24. I don't remember the other games like that. I didn't play them like that. I couldn't afford, you know, those consoles and whatnot as a kid. I only played them here and there, but if this is new, great on them. If it's always been in the game, that's great too. The fact that they can absorb is perfect. That is what their characters could do. The fact that they don't have ki and their bar automatically charges, amazing, perfect. That because that they didn't have stamina, they didn't ever get tired. That's beautiful. I love that. So they will be fun as hell to play, and you're gonna actually feel like an android when you play as them. And I think that's gonna be really fun. The next section we have here is unique look. Try characters with unique looks and distinctions in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. The game faithfully reproduces some features of the series, whether it's an accessory, ability, or cosmetic that may or not affect the character's gameplay. Okay, so based on accessories or whatever, you might play a little differently. You can enjoy multiple ways and fighting styles in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, as sword fighting is one of them. Iconic swordsmen from the series will use their sword in a lot of combos, rush, and blast to faithfully recreate their famous move. So, Trunks, when he chopped Frieza the fuck up. There are also characters who use a sword to launch energy blasts that pierce through guard with a smash energy blast. So, that's either like heavy attacks with the swords, or they're speaking specifically to Trunks, or the dude from the movie, I can't remember his name, but how they literally swipe and they, you know, shoot ki blasts through their swords. They also added Super Aura. Some characters, such as the strongest form in Dragon Ball Super, so Super Saiyan Blue, in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero have their aura always being on. Their power is overflowing, which is a result in stunning visual expression of their ki. So yeah, so that's cool. That'll be a nice little touch. Their ki will always be visible. Like it. No comment or no complaints here. Scouter. Okay. Scouter. The Scouter is an iconic item from the Dragon Ball series. In the game, you can select characters mostly from Frieza Force and equip them, the Scouter, as an accessory which will grant a boost of search radius when equipped depending on the quality of the Scouter equipped. So there's going to be different qualities. The fact that they're even adding a Scouter is cool to me. That's great. The fact, and now there's qualities of Scouters. That's that's interesting. With this precious accessory, the players will be able to avoid losing track of their opponent for too long. Note that damage taken during the battle could result in the destruction of the Scouter. When the Scouter is destroyed, it becomes difficult to locate the opponent if they are lost from sight. Again, I don't know if this was added in the other games. I feel like I remember something like this. Regardless, that is really cool. That's cool that you can wear the Scouter. It does exactly what you think a Scouter would do. You can increase search radius. You can track your enemies better. Not only that, but you can destroy the Scouter. And when it is destroyed, it becomes difficult to locate the opponent. That's cool. That's cool. This will be like a key accessory for the speed motherfuckers. So that'll be cool to see how that gets played. Ground characters. Interesting. Like in the Dragon Ball series, some characters cannot fly. Once they jump, they will slowly fall back to the ground as they cannot remain in the air for a long time, compared to the flying characters. On the other hand, they are the only ones that are able to run on the ground, so take advantage of their skills and try to get the fight to take place on the ground. That is interesting. So does this mean the Saiyans can't run on the ground? I actually have not paid attention to this, nor have I seen this. I haven't thought about this until they said it right here. So I'm going to go back and look at that, but that's kind of cool. I guess it doesn't really make sense that no one. So like Cell, could Cell not fucking walk or run on the ground? That's kind of weird. The final section we have here is special maneuvers. In Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, you can perform several maneuvers that do not fall under the combo category or the blast attacks category. These gameplay features are numerous and range from transformation to quick time event sequences. Let's have a look at them and how they bring spotlight on characters during fights. So first we have the transformations. It takes skill count. So basically, you know, it's just showing you how to transform. You pull up the menu and then select the form that you want to take place. So for instance, this is Goten. You pull up his menu and you're able to select Super Saiyan. So that's cool. Next up is fusion. They say it can only be used when the two characters who can fuse are on your team. Fuse into the character shown on the fusion panel by pressing that input. Once fused, both characters will disappear from your team member's screen and be replaced by a single fused character. Note, they cannot go back to normal. So that's big. That's big. Let's say you're fighting a three-man team with a three-man team and you fuse. You're essentially down one member. And not only that, but they don't go back to normal, which is a little weird. I could have swore when you beat their ass, they go back to their individual people. So, for instance, Vegeta, if Vegeta got the fuck beat out of him, he'd go back to Goku and Vegeta. Interesting that that's not going to be implemented here. But yeah, just keep that in mind. Next up, we got Switch. The switch is possible once the change icon is lightened. Press that input, then choose the character you want to switch with. This mechanic can lead to other gameplay features such as chase change. In team battle, switch while attacking to let your switched in character continue the assault. Use this tactic to smoothly switch out team members while keeping up your attacks. So if anyone is familiar with the Ultimate Ninja Storm series, it's exactly like that. You can start a combo with one character, switch out with another to continue the combo. It'll be interesting to see how the different categories of characters implement this right off rip. I think that the speed characters are gonna go crazy with Switch. Then we got Sparking mode, which is the end all be all. To enter Sparking mode, you must charge your ki to its maximum and even further beyond. You will need to spend one skill count to reach Sparking mode. Sparking mode not only enhances your abilities, but also offers a variety of other benefits, such as allowing you to shoot ki blasts without consuming ki. Use moves such as Violent Rush while in sparking mode. You can perform continuous rush attacks until your gauge runs out, resulting in an uninterrupted barrage of melee attacks. You can also perform Hyper Smash, which will inevitably break the guards of your opponent, or Super Movement, as it consumes some of your sparking gauge and allows you to vanish and move instantly. So yeah, this is just, it's the name of the game. This is the end form. This is the end all be all. Steroids, So yeah, okay, that's cool. It just enhances everything you do, basically. Emote. Yeah, okay. You can perform the emote displayed on the emote panel by so you can emote. That's cool. You can take up stances. Nice. Love that. Then we have quick time events. Once certain moves are performed at the same time by both players, a dynamic quick time event sequence will start in which the winner can take advantage in the battle by dealing additional damage and sending his opponent away. Quick time events will make your fights more unique and predictable, as they require a shift in the way the battle flows. Make sure to include it in your battle strategy by making it a turning point in the battles to throw your opponent's rhythm off. So the first one we have is Speed Impact. A Speed Impact sees the two fighters clash and trade in a series of blows. Perform a Speed Impact by clashing with your opponent using a Dragon Dash. Okay, so when you Dragon Dash at the same time, you get into a Speed Impact, which has two main parts. First, during the single strike, both sides must match their inputs with what is being shown on screen. Once the winner of the single attack is decided, the action proceeds to rapid strikes. During rapid strikes, the final damage inflicted is decided by the number of inputs performed by each player. Once the rapid strike stage ends, the winner of the single strike will send the loser flying, concluding the encounter. What if it's a tie? Interesting. Okay, so you just button mash. Interesting. Second, we have Power Impact. Power Impact happens once the two characters perform a throw at the same time. This impact action is centered around comparing strength by holding corresponding buttons. During the class, a gauge will be displayed. You must adjust your inputs in order to not exceed the needle. The winner is determined by whose gauge is closest to the needle when the Power Impact ends. Then we got Crash Impact. Crash Impact is triggered when both characters use a step at the same time. Once the Crash Impact begins, the two sides will randomly assign the roles of attacker and defender. The inputs shown for the attacker and defender are different, so the player must follow directions on screen. If the attacker wins the exchange, the defender will take damage. If the defender wins, they will protect themselves. A maximum of 3 exchanges will take place. The first player to win 2 exchanges will knock back the other player. So we're just throwing hands, running the fade, like it. And then we have Blast Impact. Blast Impact is an impact action that occurs upon the collision of 2 ranged blast attacks. Look at that. Ooh, that is beautiful. When a blast impact begins, a meter will be displayed on screen and a gauge on the right side will begin increasing. Pressing will convert the gauge into energy for your blast, affecting whose blast comes out on top. In addition to single button presses, you can increase your power through rapidly tapping the button as well. The winner will deal tremendous damage to his opponent. And that is all they say. So, study up. This stuff right here, the clashes, the quick time event stuff, study up. This is going to be what sets people apart for sure. This, as well as the getting like the vanishing down and things like that, that's gonna set everybody apart in competitive and in the matches. Study up on these different types of categories. The androids, I love this. This is what an android is. I think they will be extremely fun to play as, but they honestly seem like kind of like the balance role. So they could be good, they could be bad. There's going to be better, there's going to be worse, but study up on this stuff as well. The giants, I don't know, they're just not for me. I'm sure somebody out there will like them. The Ki Blast characters, that's going to be for the people who have no skill, I'd say. This and the giants, like, let's be real here. If you pick Ki or giants, you're gonna get clowned on. The speed characters, a lot of people are gonna be playing the speed characters, so be ready for that. They're gonna be fucking fast. They're gonna be chaining combos. It's gonna get really ridiculous. Then as for me, I'll be in the strength category. So, yep, that's the article. Thank you guys for watching the video. Leave your comments down below and go study. This is good stuff. I'm really happy that they released this, and and gave us a look on everything. So if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like, comment your thoughts down below, subscribe to the channel for more. Looking at the bottom here, it said that the 3-day early access starts on the 8th, so I was a day off. It'll be the 8th, 9th, and 10th. So we will be streaming on the 8th, 9th, and 10th because I did get the Ultimate Edition. So subscribe for that, and I cannot wait to see you guys later.